Hi everyone, my name is Sinemivuyo Mpulu, also known as Sine, the voice artist. I just finished having a chat with Kay, and it's really exciting. NepoXchange, a podcast dropping soon. We discussed quite a number of things, important things that you need to tune in for. So lock in, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. One gave birth to the other. So I was originally in radio, and that's how I discovered voiceovers. So I can't really even choose because they both belong. But if you had like a gun to my head, probably radio. So our ride to the awards was really dope and fun. Because we had music all the time. So when you get that training and when you redefine your skills, it actually it allows you to set a different perspective on the work that you're doing. You view yourself differently, and if anything, you elevate.
Welcome to this episode of the NepoXchange Podcast. Today we shift our gears as we welcome somebody who usually would be on this other side of the table or the mic because his profession is in radio presenting. He's also a voiceover artist as well as a content creator. We welcome the 09 pioneer of TikTok billing, Sinemivuyo Mpulu. Welcome, Sine.
Thank you so much. I can hear the imaginary audience already screaming. Thank you, guys.
Welcome, and thank you for
so
joining
much.
us. Thank you so much.
It is such a pleasure. You guys have a nice space here, eh?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you. So the aim of our podcast is usually to provide access, information, as well as provide inspiration for young people or any other professional or anybody who's obviously looking to get into different spaces.
Yeah.
So today we obviously would like to just get to know more into your space, especially as a voiceover artist, because I think a lot of people don't know that, you know, the different ads and sort of like things that they see out there, videos, they don't know like that there's actually people who are professionals who train to be the voices behind those videos. So I think we would like to really get to know more about that, and then obviously to get to hear what you have to say about your space.
Yeah, looking forward to it, and quite excited to have this conversation and to see where it's headed.
Cool.
Yeah.
To our audience at home, don't forget to follow our social media on Nepoworx on all platforms, and then follow Sine now on all platforms as well. He's Sinemivuyo Mpulu.
Yes.
So please do follow on his platforms. So we're going to start our conversation quite very lightly. We start with icebreaker. So we're going to start with this or that.
Yeah.
So I'll give you two options and you only choose one.
Okay.
Cool. So the first one is, do you prefer morning studio sessions or evening?
Morning, definitely. That's when the voice is still fresh. It's still like in its original state. Because now, when you reach the end of the day, it's like, hey, the voice is gone. I'm tired. So definitely mornings.
See, also another tip already is that it's an art. It's an art, and it doesn't just happen at any time. Okay,
True.
Perfect. Then, do you prefer radio hosting or voiceover?
Yes, it's a bit tough to choose between the two because one gave birth to the other. So I was originally in radio, and that's how I discovered voiceovers. So I can't really even choose because they both belong. But if you had like a gun to my head, probably radio. Definitely radio. That's my
and why
first
radio?
love.
Oh,
That's my first love. That's where I began. That's where I discovered my voice. So I think radio any day.
That
Radio.
makes sense. That really makes sense. And do you prefer storytelling or would you choose singing?
Storytelling, definitely. I don't want to burst any eardrums because my voice is not as good as it sounds when it comes to singing. I can't sing to save my life. But yeah, you know, anything can change. Eh? There's a lot of artists who've gone to get trained so that they can sing. Well, like Ed Sheeran is a good example, by the way. He couldn't sing at all, but now he's like,
I didn't know that.
Right? There are vocal coaches out there who can do the magic, so you never know.
Learn something new every day. All right, okay, cool. And do you prefer TikTok or Instagram? Sorry, I have to put the two platforms against each other.
I would say I would say Instagram, funny enough, because Instagram is where it all started, you know.
Okay.
And then TikTok kind of boosted everything for me and it pushed it out to the right eyes and different audiences. But Instagram is where it started. The real people who know me, who've been following me for years, know the Instagram is where it's all started. So Instagram.
Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna give you one last tough challenge or choice.
Yeah.
So this one is called One Must Go. I'll give you 4 options and one must go. So the first one is your memory. First one is your memory, or the microphone, or music, or stage performance.
Music. I don't listen to music, funny enough.
How could you survive without listening to music?
Right. I listen to songs through, like if it's playing on a video, if I see it on TV or hear it somewhere on the radio, that's the only time I like thoroughly listen to songs, or if I'm gymming or something. But yeah, I don't have like I don't have a music app on my phone that I can listen to songs or for like a playlist that dedicated. No, so music, yeah.
That is hard to believe, and I'm about to put you on blast.
Really?
So I met Sine last week. We were at an event, and he was DJing the whole way to the event. So from the shuttle of the hotel to the event, he was DJing.
Let me
so
tell
for
you
somebody
something.
who was a DJ, I can't believe that you.
Right?
That's why I put music there, because I thought it's probably
It
one
would
of
be
your
part of. But let me
passions.
tell you something interesting. So like even me listening to music is something that is it's occasional, you know, it happens here and there. So all of that music is obviously music that I grew up listening, I grew up exposed to.
Okay.
You know, I have an idea with, okay, in 2010, this song was trending.
You're in tune with culture.
Right,
yeah.
right. And it's a people's thing, really, if you think about it. Like as South Africans, those type of songs and music, it gets us somewhere. You know, it's sing-along vibe. So
Absolutely.
it's feel-good music. So that's why it was so easy for me to find such music. So our ride to the awards was really dope and fun.
Yeah.
Because we had music all the time.
You kept
it's
the
as
car
if we knew
moving.
you guys were winning.
Oh, of course.
Right.
If you guys don't know, our CEO won the Mail and Guardian. Well, was part of the chosen top 200 on the Mail and Guardian. So that's what he means when he says we won. We're a bunch of winners.
Yes.
Thank you for that. So the next one is a stereotype.
Yeah.
We usually call it mean tweets. So if you just tell me how you would reply to this, if you hear the stereotype, it says voiceover work is just reading lines. So there's really not much that goes into it.
Yeah. Like I honestly just roll my eyes at anyone who says that. Can I tweet that? Can I tweet that emoji here?
You can fight them even.
Yeah, like 5 or 10 of them.
I'm giving you permission to fight them because it's a crazy stereotype.
It's like saying anyone's job is that easy, or like anyone can do any kind of job, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, I can do voiceovers, but I can't disrespect someone else's job. Like your job right now is a tough job to do. You know very well. So yeah, I think no, definitely.
Absolutely.
10 emojis, rolling eyes.
Absolutely. No, for real. Because I'm sure people think with hosting, well, some people who don't know obviously think you just come and you sit.
And you do your
But there's
thing.
a lot of preparation, setting up today, just finding time, the producing of the content, doing research on who you are, obviously to just have that conversation.
So much work.
Yeah, so there's a lot of work that goes into, I think, any space or any sort of profession. So yeah. And then the last one, just to close off, is called the ticket list. What is the 1 or 2 things that are on your ticket list that you're like, these I have to do?
I don't know, like I keep on picking up new habits and I'm trying to like, you know, spark my interest across a variety of things. But I think right now, I think traveling to Drakensberg and maybe hiking Drakensberg Mountains. I think that will be a really dope experience. And then the other is to land myself at a red carpet international red carpet gig at the Oscars right? The Oscars or like the Grammys.
It's coming.
I'd love an international big stage. So TikTok billing is just the start of it all.
No, it is definitely coming.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
really do see it for you. I see you there. So keep
Thanks.
pushing. Cool. So we're going to get into a segment where we now get to know a bit more about you. So I know that you've spoken before about the fact that your parents were kind of like somehow intertwined into the media space, and that kind of set the stage for you. So let's obviously dial it back to there to just say, so that you can, I know you said you also working in radio is what drew you to your voiceover work, but just dial it back to sort of your upbringing and the inspiration you got from your parents, and then how we are here today now. Yeah.
Wow. How do I even start, telling that story? Because it's such a long one. But I definitely feel like my background was kind of, my DNA rather was like knitted in the media space from when I was very young.
Okay.
My dad, used to, and I remember every morning before he used to go to work, he'd sell newspapers. And that would be my opportunity to kind of step into the media world by reading and familiarizing myself with what's on the papers, who's writing, And I think that's where my love for storytelling began, through being exposed to people within the media space. And you might be asking yourself, but how is your dad seen involved in the media space if he's only selling newspapers? It's still the distribution of news. It's still the distribution.
He was passionate about making sure that people are knowledgeable. It wasn't just about wanting to give newspapers. So I know exactly.
It's providing access to information, and it's bringing people closer to the stories. And so that's what I think my whole body of work has really been focused on, serving others, making sure others also get to live their dreams through the work that we do. And that's really been it. Even with radio and public speaking, that's something that I picked up from mom. And she's been in the media space as well, radio, but mostly teaching. Okay. So I feel like also my teaching spirit and my spirit to encourage others and to push others definitely picked it up from home.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Definitely. That's absolutely beautiful. So just take us through your journey. You've spoken about obviously training in dramatic arts, but also being able to be coached or again trained by international voiceover coaches. So how did that kind of shape your style and your type of work as well?
Well, it really sets you different, it's like when you get training, you are an ambassador of your success or whatever success you would be exposed to, because it works in a way that you are now transformed to step into this space as someone who is valued and someone that brands and clients can see as an asset. So when you get that training and when you redefine your skills, it actually it allows you to set a different perspective on the work that you're doing. You view yourself differently, and if anything, you elevate, and the invoice changes. You add more zeros onto,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
the
add more
most
zeros.
Important part as well.
You add more zeros onto your invoice, but it's honestly not a thing of getting training for 1 month, 2 months, and 3 months, but it's a year's worth thing. It's like a lifetime situation. Learning never ends. It only ends with our lives ending.
Yeah,
so continue learning, I continue training, and it just doesn't stop. But yes, that being exposed rather to those coaches and their level of work and the kind of training practices and methods and techniques they expose you to, that definitely takes you somewhere different and it sets you apart. Yeah.
Okay, good. Absolutely great. You've worked with really prestigious brands, and I think if I were to name a few, the likes of your National Geographic, KFC, Standard Bank, what would you say, and I know it's probably hard to choose from your work, but what would you say is some of your memorable work, like maybe the one that really stood out for you and why did it stand out?
I feel like every moment, and I've been asked this question quite a number of times, but I feel like every moment I step into any studio, like especially in front of any mic, that's my big moment, to be able to step into that room and deliver work that I've been seeing Uguti I'm capable to deliver. Yeah. And for that alone, it like, it's still a feeling I can't even explain, you know. It's more than just getting goosebumps, but it's to be seen, it's to be heard, you know.
Yeah, and I think we all want to be seen.
Yes, we all want to get to that point where we're, you know, applauded for something that we did at work, something we did here and there. So I think every time I step into studio, whether big or small, I treat the project with the same magnitude, because then, you know, it's still me working, and if anything, I need to show up, and I am the one who's sent to do the job, not how great I am. And you're only as good as your last gig, eh?
Absolutely.
So you can never be the best of best or the perfect out of 10, 100, and 1,000 people. But you keep on getting better every single day.
Okay, absolutely. That's beautiful. So just also coming off of that, you've now founded the VO Factory as well as Mvuyo Media. How important is it for you, or maybe was it also when you started these companies, to obviously cultivate a community for especially young Black voiceover artists or people who obviously aspire to be in that space?
Well, Mivuyo Media and the Voiceover Factory were quite a interesting integration, because they were two separate entities that we had built on the side. And then all of a sudden, as we built these events and we went over the years, we realized that there is a conjunction between everything that we've been doing.
Okay.
So now Mivuyo Media, which is my social media, digital marketing and events company, what we then do is then we handle the Voiceover Factory together with the South African Voiceover Awards.
Okay.
So these are all passion projects under one company. And yeah, the beauty about it is that every young person we come across, every young person who comes to our community always has a success story. And so that's the main reason why even earlier I shared Uguti, my main thing has always been giving others a space and giving them a platform to platform themselves and to believe in themselves, or to rather see Uguti, they are in fact great. So we work with a number of young people, young African voices, even with the projects that we are doing now, just so we are the future, to showcase to the world that we have the capacity to do it. We are able to do this. What we need is the brand support. What we need is the strength and support from the brands, so that we can build and take it into the future. And I think if anything, you know, more than just bringing on people and creating all of these projects, employment is also a big thing.
Absolutely.
So we are trying to also kind of pave the way towards decreasing the numbers of unemployment where we are. So now mostly of our workers and most of our people who work with us are on volunteer base. But we try as much when anyone comes in and gives us a slice of bread, that we break bread with everyone who's a part of us.
That's absolutely beautiful. I think for me, what stands out is, and it kind of shows the synergy we have with Nepoworx as well, because we it's a whole ecosystem of obviously ensuring that you don't only upskill and train young people, but you also obviously ensure that you capacitate SMMEs and enterprises, so that obviously they can hire these young people who are trained, but also even these young people can also go and find other jobs. And so through one of our platforms called Re-Energy, we are able to then connect them to find some of these jobs. So I think I like that as well, that through these two organizations for you, you've also created an ecosystem where you not only have like an academy to train them for the voiceovers, but you're also then able to provide jobs and sort of assist them. So I think that's quite great, that everybody should be looking at the end user goal, obviously, to say, obviously, once these people are trained, they're not just staying home, because what's the point?
Yeah, true, right? So I think it's important to give people a platform that they find their wings, and once they find their wings, you let them fly. But obviously, you need that support, as you said. So that's why we're here today, NepoXchange. You want to?
Absolutely, absolutely. So you've also grew quite a strong social media presence, sharing your tips in terms of over and above what you do with your organization. You also do share tips as well as behind the scenes on social media with your work and what you do. And I think that's how most of us came to know about you. How important, and how has content creation kind of sort of helped you amplify your mission as well in terms of the work you do?
Whew, we could talk about it the whole day. You want to talk to me about social media?
Let's get into it.
We will talk about social media.
Let's get into it.
It's been an incredible journey. Very wonderful. And I think the biggest thing about social media is that with every creator and every student we've met, and we try and prompt them to be on social media, to start living a life on social media, to build on social media. And one of the things, the most common barriers that we find with a lot of the students is that fear and confidence are the two things stopping people from executing stuff and their ideas and publishing them online, right?
Yeah.
But if we were to ask you, where have you ever gotten an invoice from fear or a lack of confidence to say we're going to pay you 20,000 rands or this amount of money just because you're a part of us? You have fear and you have no confidence.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay to have a lack of confidence. It doesn't pay to have fear and to let fear rather overpower you and stop you from executing what you need to do. And a lot of people find it very aggressive. My content and my approach has been deemed to be aggressive. And I ask myself, but look at the mainstream brands. What about them? Like if we were to mention your favorite supermarket, the red one.
Let's not mention names.
Right?
Yeah.
The red one. But the way in which their approach is put out there. Like, for example, you would probably see a loaf of bread advertised at every single corner, or like you probably see like an advert on TV 10 times a day, and you don't say anything about those guys because it's normal, right? And it's a big brand.
It's become a norm.
But yes, what more than when it comes to you as an individual? Why can't you exude that same power, that same courage to be there, to have people know about you, to have your voice go out there? And the thing about social media now is that the reach is global. So social media for me has been really great. And once I got over my lack of confidence to be on cam and my fear, oh boy, things changed. Things definitely changed. And now I just get paid to be on social media.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. You said something about you can't put fear on an invoice. I was so coincidentally, I was watching something yesterday and the person said, go take out your bank statement right now. Where have you been paid for like having fear? Right? If you would check, where have you been paid? If you check on your bank statement, there's payments nothing that you've received because you were fearing something. But you only get paid because you obviously put yourself out there and you had the courage to do it.
And just to add on that, onto that, there's always a joke we have with our masterclasses when you host our students and we say, being shy won't pay the bills.
It doesn't.
Being shy, it will not pay the bills. And there's a certain level of shamelessness when that you need to have as a creative, as an individual, because as you grow, you're exposed to so many things, unfamiliar things as well. So you need to set yourself or your neurosystem to actually be ready for those situations where you feel a little bit uncomfortable because you're training yourself to be known and valued in these spaces more than just seeming aggressive and he's too loud, he's too in our faces 24/7, but instead really you are building and building and building.
If this was a tweet, I'd say at me. They always say at me. I feel like you're speaking
Tag me
to
next
me.
time.
Yeah. So next time, just mention my name.
But no, I think
because I feel like you're speaking to me, and I'm sure all our audiences also feel like you're speaking to them. Just add our names next time.
But you know what? With you're doing great already.
Oh my God.
You're hosting a podcast. She's doing great. Like she was so nervous behind the scenes, but she's doing great.
It's not about me, but
right?
thank you. I was just saying
It's
do
a great
fear
step,
and stuff, but thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. So just to obviously close off this segment as we move towards the end.
Yeah.
So beyond storytelling, how would you say you define success for you? Like for some of the work you do, I know it's usually such a tricky question because people will just say define success.
Yeah.
But I know it looks different for all of us. So that's why it's important to also want to see, just for you, where would you say, you know what, this I've really done well, and you give yourself a pat in the back?
I think success for me is peace. And this is a question I've been asked before. But success is peace. It's waking up every day and not feeling like you need time out from life. I think that's success, because a huge part of it is obviously regulating your nervous system. That's why the fear, the lack of confidence, stuff that you need to work against. You need to set yourself as someone who is used to being uncomfortable so that you can be comfortable, right? You can't be comfortable if you are not uncomfortable, right? So yeah, I think that is success to me, having that peace and also being able to control my time. I think that really is success, but also being able to pay rent at the end of the month, buy bread, put bread on the table, be with family as well. And I think even time with family and time spent alone, if you have that, I think you are quite successful, at least for me.
That was really profound. I really liked that. So just coming from that seriousness, what is it that you do? Because you just spoke about spending time alone. What is it that you do, like after a long day, to just unwind and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm picking everything up and this is just me. Like, what is it that you do?
Well, I'd really love to take a flight to like Mauritius and just chill at the beach.
But for now, what do you do?
For now, I think having that time alone, I love being in my own space and just having silence.
Okay.
And like silence to a point where you can listen to your heartbeat, I feel like that's the most powerful thing you can do for anyone, especially for yourself. And taking walks. I take quite a lot of walks. I'm very spiritual in my doing. So sometimes I probably like, if I'm breathing fresh air, I'm just like, wow, I'm so grateful for this fresh air, the trees, the birds, and just being in touch with nature. I think that really relaxes me and it keeps me sane. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's beautiful. So who would you say are the maybe let's say top 2 or 3 people or mentors, especially in your workspace, that you look up to? It could be locally or globally. Who are the people? And they could be dead or alive, it's fine.
Damn. I don't know if I'm weird for this, but I usually would not have anyone I look up to. Okay. I'm very strategic with having people that I look up to, because then I don't want to get to a point where, I don't want to get to a point where I idolize them too much that I forget about myself or the power that I have to become like them. Yes, I'm not trying to become like them or anything or to be like them, but there are
traits and characters you can still pick up from.
Yes. And at the end of the day, we're all humans, We shouldn't be idolizing each other. Instead, we should be loving each other and maybe admiring, our work, the stuff that we do and the way we think. But in terms of people that I would look up to, I still struggle with that. But there are definitely people who inspire me to do great things. So I don't know how I would answer that question. Do you have a list of people?
Not from the top of my head. Okay, I do. So for me, it's usually maybe, let's say, people that I've experienced. So it could be my mother for different character traits. But I've also grown up to understand that she's human, and some spaces where when I was younger, I would be mad at her. I'm like, oh, she was actually human. She was being a mother for the first time, as people say.
And sorry to disturb you, but when we actually like look up to people, we actually think or put them in our heads and set them as perfect, right? We set them as perfect in our head, so we expect them not to make any mistakes. And we're human, mistakes happen, things happen. So I had people that I looked up to when I was young, but they disappointed me, and then I was just like, I should pull back from this.
So I think for me, it's that. So I pick up characters. So I do have, like, let's say, managers that I've had, that I've worked with, that I'm just like, you're still killing it and doing great strides. And, when I grow, I want to be like, even when I worked, like, I want to have some of these character traits and some of these things that you've done for you. And they kind of inspire, even though I have my own path that I'm really carving, there are things where I'm like, these I can pick up on and they can literally help me get to where I want to be. So I do have a few people.
I'm like, I mean, I could also take out a few people, but I'm just not sure how to approach.
So for me, it's not like role model, like, you know what? Because I feel like that puts pressure even on people. Like I also wouldn't want somebody to be like, you're my role model. I've had people like DM me and be like, I want you to like mentor me. I don't know how to do that. Like I just off rip, because also when I don't have time, then now I look like a bad person, because you don't want to do it, but I just don't have the time, or I just also don't know how to navigate. One of my first managers used to say, like, mentoring is really the people around you that you work with or that you deal with, that you kind of like can pick up things from them on a day-to-day. But the structured mentorship sometimes can be tricky, because then you keep making up sessions and you don't make time for it, or you don't like, but there are people who do it and do it right in terms of structuring and making time for it. So kudos to them. But I've only been able to just look up to different things.
Yeah, it's a very tricky one. I always also say that I'm not trying to be anyone's role model, because at the end of the day, I'm just a human being. I'm working my way out. I'm still figuring things out, you know.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a very, very tricky one. But I'm learning. We'll get them. Maybe in the next 10 years, I'll have a list of people like, these guys.
Yeah, we'll do a check-in in 10 years and see where you are.
Absolutely.
Cool. We spoke about this earlier when we spoke about the stereotype, but what is the one or two misconceptions that people have about your line of space that you would like to debunk and be like, that's not it?
That you can easily become rich. I think maybe in like 2010, 2014, you could
people
easily
were making money.
You could listen. There are guys we could talk about now who are still like getting invoiced, for a job they did in 2010, 2014.
What changed then?
I think what changed budgets. As we move on now, things are becoming more easier to handle and produce and execute. The introduction of AI as well, that has kind of disrupted the livelihood of the industry itself. But I think as well, times change, man, and there's always different systems and different things introduced.
And we move technology. Because also, I'm just thinking now as you're speaking, do you think social media could also have been something that came into play? Because we used to have a lot of ads, and that was the mode of advertising and marketing that we used to have, that brands only relied on up until now, where they have social media, they have content creators who obviously use their own platforms to create that. So it's no longer a thing of so many ads that are only living on TV.
Also, like the shift in like media property, it kind of affected us, and it's still going to affect us, because we are moving now from traditional to more
digital.
And more humanized, created by humans content.
Absolutely.
So things are getting much, much easier now. And even because e-voiceovers has been used as a tool to advertise, there are different forms of advertising now. Even they're much stronger. So it's really interesting to learn and see. But a lot has definitely changed.
This is probably going to be one of those questions where you're like, I need to, or maybe it's different, like just like the role models. But let me just ask it. What legacy do you want to obviously sort of build through the VO factory, but also kind of like leave behind personally as well?
I think my agenda personally would drive or kind of affect everything else that I'm doing.
Okay.
But personally, my legacy isn't really wealth, leaving cars behind and houses and
the materials,
the materialistic things, but it's kindness, spreading love, being one, valuing each other, respecting each other, and seeing each other as one, because that's what we are. But the things of the world really separate us and make us think that we are apart instead of together. So kindness is definitely a big thing that we push out. I operate on kindness, business dealings, individuals, wherever I am, I'm met with kindness, and it's such a beautiful experience that you can actually maneuver how the world is meant to treat you, or how the world receives you, because whatever you put out there, you receive back. So that's always been my one thing: kindness. And it's such an expensive luxury for some people, because they've never experienced it themselves. So how much more when they need to pour out kindness from their own hearts? They struggle.
Okay, no, that's beautiful. So in closing, I know you have one exciting project, but just tell me more about what's next for you, and you can speak about that exciting project as well.
Well, at least we were not here to steal, Goketso's job. She's doing great as a host.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, so we definitely approve. But I think
Thank you.
the South African Voiceover Awards, the Voiceover Factory, Mivuyo Media, we are really just trying to create a name for ourselves in the entertainment and media space.
Okay.
So we continue to train more voices. We've trained 700 plus voices over the 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And so now we are continuing to do it. We want to aggressively tap into the corporate market now, where we train corporate beings, we train corporate heads and leadership teams to actually communicate, because there is nothing worse. It's an ick, for me at least, when I see someone who has a leadership position and they can't communicate.
Yeah.
It is the worst thing you can do for yourself as a leader. And so that is what we are trying to combat. We are trying to make sure that everyone, whether you have zero confidence or confidence that's 100, we are trying to ensure that you can communicate well and you can communicate value and you are heard. And if anything, you are honored in the spaces that you are in. And if you're a great communicator, you can get so many things in life, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what we are trying to champion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is great, and all the best, especially with the awards. Thank you so much for joining us and making your time. But I also do want to say, continue to obviously do the work that you do with young people, especially introducing the space that you're in, but making sure that people do get jobs and they don't remain home.
Yes.
You're
Absolutely.
doing really great. So also hoping to work more with you, but we'll chat about that offline and we'll discuss all of that offline.
Yeah.
We do have a nice gift for you, but I'll discuss
Woo-hoo!
that
Thank
in
you,
a bit.
NepoXchange.
In a bit. So thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for
really
your time.
Appreciate it.
To our viewers at home, do tune in again and do follow us on our platforms as mentioned earlier. So it's Nepoworx on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. We're everywhere, so do just check out our platform and do watch the previous episodes of the NepoXchange podcast as well. And follow Sine as well. So Sinemivuyo Mpulu on all platforms.
Absolutely.
Cool. Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much.